Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Our producer Samantha's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
If you borrow something for a long enough period of time, eventually you can make the true statement of, they don't need it anymore now.
Yeah.
Like,
I've
done it with everything.
He has my Sawzall and it is no longer legally mine.
I mean, they need it.
No,
they just know they're not getting it back.
No, I don't need my Sawzall.
I have a Porky's cooler. It doesn't need it anymore.
Well, that's unfortunate.
No, that's not unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's true.
What about me? No backyard, no Sawzall. Don't need it.
Dana
He
doesn't
needed
no
it.
Sawzall.
You still had it. Now he's out of business.
No, I don't want it now. The blade on that thing is just jimmy-jaggy crazy.
But now he doesn't need it anymore.
No.
I'm saying in a long enough period of time.
I needed it at my little house. I gave him the Sawzall before I moved to my townhome. That was like 13 years ago. He has had my Sawzall. It's a good brand. That's a damn DeWalt. That's a DeWalt. He has had it for 13 years. It is now yours. Enjoy. In fact, I could borrow it, and then you could ask for it back, and legally I have to give it back.
Anyway, okay.
Sorry, I made myself mad.
So there was a Solar Bears game this past week, which is always fun.
That's why I was making myself mad. I was thinking about something in particular at the Solar Bears tailgate at the beautiful Moe parking lot.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So Conduit and John Bussecker did put on a tailgate party that we all went to.
I go more with
family
Moe.
Friendly, although Tom did not bring his family.
Yeah.
I was like, where are your kids?
I thought he just wanted some relief.
Well, my wife can't go anywhere on time. And then also my niece was over, so it was a chaos when I left. They're all running around crazy. And then I was like, and then she was like, well, what? I'm like, oh, well, Bussecker's got a bunch of beer and hot dogs, but I don't know.
That's what kids love is beer and hot dogs.
Right.
Bring the kids.
And
get
then,
them loaded.
And then I was and she was like, well, should I meet you there? Where should I go? And I was like, I'll text you.
It was fine. I brought Maisie too early because, man, I made her. I mean, she was there. She was there all the whole time.
Yeah. Well, you guys, get to places on time.
We do.
Vans,
but then I looked at Maisie. I'm like, if she gets bored, I go like, just go kick a tree or something. You got to do what I used to do, right? Go wander into something. Go find a dumpster. Look for a stick with a nail in it.
So Bussecker, because he had so much alcohol and drinks, he needed another
I thought you
cooler.
meant in his demeanor.
No.
Slammed when he was.
And so I get a text on what was it?
It was the morning of, I think.
Saturday
At least
morning.
mine was, I think.
Yeah.
It was Saturday morning, which I did feel like he was cutting it a little close. He's a calm man.
He did cut it close.
He's what if you don't find the
He also pre-grilled those doggers. The day before, and then just reheated them.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Those are reheated doggers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't think he could have have like an open grill there.
I mean, he could have.
Yeah.
But I get it. You wanted to have the dogs ready.
The dog was fine. I wish you'd never told me that. The dog was great.
I apologize.
So anyway, he needed another cooler, and then Daniel's like, "Hey, you have a big fish cooler?" Like Daniel knows I got a bunch of coolers. You got a big fish cooler.
For camping and stuff, we've used them before. We use them for our own events.
And I'm like, "Of course I do."
Yeah.
And I also love doing favors for someone that way.
Then you get to get
exactly.
I know.
That's how you get favors.
I'll always do a favor for everyone because
Although technically this shouldn't be a favor for Bus since you bullied him into doing the doggers anyway.
It's technically a favor.
He
did it on his own free will. It's America.
I would argue that we shouldn't have to bully him into doing his job. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
I don't think his job was to grill hot dogs.
Well,
he mentioned it.
Do you want to do it right? Do you want to do it right or do it wrong? Do you want to promise people something and not deliver?
He didn't have onions, which I didn't have a dogger because he didn't have onions.
Oh, my gosh.
I draw the line.
So how is it that Bussecker, when he needed a cooler...
I don't know why you asked me.
Well, you asked Sam and Daniel
before me.
It's just me and Travis
in my house.
Why? I know.
I'm like, I don't have that big of a cooler,
He asked because you don't have a really good... I have two friends that just have poor reply to text message people, and it's you and Sabrina.
That's true.
You guys are the worst.
Yeah.
You guys are the worst.
What? I've replied.
No, you'll let it sit. You'll let it sit for a long time because you've had to draw the line with your addiction to your phone, and you have to go put it in your room or lock it up or something because you can't control yourself. You're like a fat person with food.
You rarely respond.
Yeah,
to
you
group
never
text.
respond. So the reason he went to me was for you. So don't be fully offended. You can be 25% offended. He went to me because he know that if he went to me, that I'd go to you, annoying enough to get you to reply. And once you saw it, knew it wasn't an emergency or something with me, and you read it, you're like, oh, I can get a favor. I can steal a favor from Bus. And that's what drew you in.
No, but the text messages, I feel like I've been mislabeled.
Sabrina even told me, she's like, I'm really bad at replying to text messages.
But not for something. I'm bad at replying if you're sending me just
a pleasantry.
He deems if it's not important enough,
right.
he just won't respond.
A pleasantry.
Well,
like,
Well,
hey,
sometimes I'm asking things about the show and I get nothing back, or only Dan answers.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well.
Once Dan answers, I was like, well, that's it.
Okay,
I don't need to do it.
Think about this. Maybe people don't trust your, if Mr. Judge over here is going to decide whether or not he's going to answer the text message, maybe they don't want to leave it up to chance. Maybe they want to send it to the guy that thinks everything is an emergency, little Danny Diddy. Every molehill to me is a full-blown freak out
I was going to bring all 5 of my tiny coolers for Bus.
I ran to my garage. I only have soft side coolers now, and then I have that one for the camping trip, and it's just not big enough. It's like a big square, and that's why he did it. I guarantee you that's why he did it.
I need to talk to him because I've replied to every single. If it's business,
Tracy said, I texted this weekend. Tom did not reply. Dan did.
Yeah, it's because you lock your phone in. It's because you're
everybody that works T&D Media is calling you out.
Well, what was it about? Was it business or was it a pleasantry? I don't reply to pleasantries.
Well, sometimes business mixes up. It'll land it because a pleasantry will trigger a business. And then you got to be on all of them.
No.
You got to be on all of them.
No, it was just like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll get to that later.
Imagine if
or never.
Well, they want to know how it's going now.
What does that even mean?
Imagine if a scientist was sitting at NORAD and sitting there watching the screens, and he was like, no, I'll deem when I think the alerts are important. No,
he's like the king.
Everyone is important. Everyone gets 100%.
Not everyone.
Yeah, every one of them. Then you go full-blown decision fatigue. Dead every night.
I'm just offended he didn't ask me because I love cooling things.
I know
I'm the king of coolers.
You do have more fridges in your home than I've ever seen.
Coolers.
Do you know how many coolers I have? I have.
He's got to have like 11 coolers.
We bring in some of those
3,
tomorrow.
4, 5, 6
of them are 6 of them are no BS Porky's coolers.
I've got 6 or 7 hard shell coolers.
Big
6 or 7.
That's insane.
We could put a Marlin in them.
I've got 5 or 6 soft backpack coolers.
Yeah.
My God.
That's because you're an alcoholic. Those are called floorboard coolers.
I've got 2 drink refrigerators, 1 regular fridge, 1 deep freezer.
You've got more than 2.
You've got more than 2.
Dude, you've got more than 2.
There's one that's literally just LaCroix. I saw you have like 3 in your kitchen, right? You got 1 out in the outdoor kitchen, right?
And then
you got 1 in your bedroom. I don't know.
Yeah, this guy's got drinks everywhere.
See?
Drinks everywhere, and it's thirst trap of a wife's ass on the wall
That's
in
true.
the bathroom. It's Thirsty Thursday.
I want one in my bathroom. My
I knew it.
My father-in-law has one in his bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Told us about that.
He's got a rich, big bathroom, so it's easier to pull off.
Just take your safe out and put your fridge. Put a fridge there. You don't use it.
I want to be taking a dump.
I want to be taking a dump and open my refrigerator and pull out an old Modelo from a birthday party. Oh, by the way, my wife was looking through the safe the other day because we had some paperwork.
Oh, is it that bad?
Yeah.
Is it that bad? Are you pawning the?
By the way, the batteries were dead on the front thing, so
you got to drill through it.
No, we had to change the batteries, but I was like, well, that wouldn't have. I would have been pushing it like when someone's breaking in my house.
Open your safe.
Trying to get my
You'd just be beating a robber to death with a safe.
By the way, all my guns in there are so rusted, I doubt any of them work. I mean, how long do bullets last? Right? They're all wet.
You got to clean your guns, man.
No way any bullet works or gun works in there. Anyway.
Well, the safe doesn't work.
You're going to pull an Alec Baldwin on us.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, let's talk about the football games that happened over the weekend because I'm sure a lot of people watch them. And, of course, we now know that the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, which is exactly what the NFL wanted.
Yeah.
And there's no way that anybody is not going to get me to believe that this was all orchestrated in some strange way. But I will make an addendum to it.
Okay.
When I see Travis Kelce and when I saw, quickly, because I guess this is the part where this is the only time we're going to talk about this today.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity of riding my road bike on the Katy Way Trail during the first game, during that Chiefs game.
Okay.
And I put it in my ears. I had it in my.
Listen to the broadcast.
Dude, I was
radio
listening.
broadcast.
I was like an old man. I was listening to XM Sirius satellite radio, and then they had it on the Westwood One network.
I like audio only.
It's great. No
NFL
Taylor
broadcast.
Swift. Not one mention of them. Not even a mention of Kelsey. It was just like old men and plays, old men and the football, and it was great. Then when I got home and I saw the ending and everything after the ride, and when I saw her down on the field and they were kissing and hugging each other, it did make me feel good, okay? So I flipped in a matter of a couple of weeks. I have no, I'm not saying it's not fabricated. I'm not saying whatever it is, it looks real. It does look real.
Yeah, but I just don't want to see it in my
I
football
understand.
games. You know?
Then you got to go to audio like an old man. And you got it's a better way of sportsing, dude. Baseball on radio, better way of sportsing.
So I will tell you that I every once in a while I'll do this thing where I start convincing myself that I know that this is the best bet in the world. And,
I thought you were going to say I know everything.
Well, I was like, the tease, because the spread got to +4, +4.5 with that Chiefs game. And then the spread kind of was sticking with -7 the whole week with the Lions 49ers game.
Yeah.
And so
was it ever 7.5?
It got up to 7.5, came back to 7, and so I was looking at it, I was like, this is a great teaser leg for a long teaser, and the Chiefs, teasing the Chiefs up, like, I did think the Chiefs were going to lose against Baltimore, but I was like, I think Mahomes will keep it close, and teasing them to 10, giving the Chiefs +10 and 49ers -1. I love that teaser. So then I started scattering it around, and then I'll forget that I bet on something. I told you
that's the worst thing.
Because I'm not writing anything down. I'm like tracking.
Like a little whiteboard.
Too much work, So I
put it right next to your wife's photo.
Just like this business, I try to keep all the accounting in my head.
That's good.
Are we going to talk about that?
So nobody knows what the hell.
Hold on. Are we going to talk about that for the BDM
Holy
show?
smokes.
The phone call you did, and I busted out laughing on Friday, or was it Thursday?
Oh no!
Remember when you were talking to a business person, and you were describing what we do?
Oh, yeah.
You might want to write that down.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about the BDM
it's
show.
pretty funny. Yeah, and I started busting out laughing in here.
So anyway, so then by the time the game started, of course the Chiefs won, and they easily covered, and would have covered the +10 easily. And then so we get into the 49ers-Lions game, and I'm like, all right, great. All I need the 49ers to do is win by 1 or 2 points, because I kept so many teases in there.
Perfect.
And then I'm like, this should be, easy enough. 7, maybe too far, but 1 or 2, definitely. And then I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, of course this is happening. So then my sons, we're all watching it as a family, and my sons are like, yay. They call San Francisco State Farm. And they're like, and then they only root for the winner. Like the Lions were winning.
Why do they call San Francisco State Farm?
Because just they have an SF.
Everything. State Farm. I like that.
Oh, I would think it would be the Chiefs because Mahomes is in all the goddamn State Farm commercials.
No, yeah, but they call the Chiefs KFC. So it's KFC and State Farm.
We're gonna have to start talking about the intelligence of these boys and the education they're getting in Castleberry.
I'm like,
no, it's everywhere. Maisie calls the Mannings. She calls Peyton Manning the hot dog with hair.
Well, that's correct. I stand by that.
So then they started rooting for the Lions just because the Lions they only want, like when you turn on the game
they only root for winners. That's like Trump. I like that. That's me too.
And then so I'm like silently sweating it out on the couch because I realized I started going through all my books and I'm like, man, I have way too much money on this game and they're gonna lose. I'm like, oh my god. So I'm freaking out, right? I'm like on the couch because it's obvious.
That's good for your kids to see. Daddy's gonna lose it all.
No, I keep it inside.
The cushions.
I keep it inside, but every time, they flip flop every.
Daddy got quiet.
And there were some plays during that were just like it was wild.
No, I know.
It was wild.
Yeah. And then Dan Campbell goes for it.
He loves to go for it.
On 4th down instead of kicking the field goal. Because if they had kicked the field goal down by 3 scores, I was like, this is over. They're never going to win.
Yeah.
And he goes for it and he gets the stop. And I swear, the whole game, I'm like, how do I hedge this bet? Because I have so much money leverage on one side. Like, the professional will tell you, hedge out, live bet, hedge out. So you don't lose so much,
sure.
If you get yourself too far one direction. So
that would make me nervous.
This was it was I live my life with
slowly close my computer, go outside, rub some grass.
I'm trying to do the math on what the best number to hedge out on. Like I'm looking at the Lions money line because I have to bet big on the Lions money line to hedge this bet. And this is the first time ever that the gambling gods actually helped me. Because I try to bet.
Doesn't believe in God, but does believe in gambling gods.
I try to hedge out like $200 bet on the Lions money line, and then the wheel of death is spinning because and then nothing happens, and then all of a sudden that play where it bounces off the Lions helmet, and he I forgot who caught that long pass from Purdy. It bounced off the.
And then he had a big
Ayuk, right?
Ayuk.
Yeah,
it was Ayuk, and then he had another pass right after that. Yeah.
So that long pass that bounced off the Lions helmet, I'm like, oh my god!
That's a heart stopper.
So then I'm like, all right, and the odds changed because I'm about to make a bad bet. Then my phone dies. And I'm like, no. And then
can I ask you? You guys got to get your phones in order. Your wife told me at the Solar Bears game her phone was on 2%. I'm like, how does this happen?
Better life, people.
You gotta plug your phones in, man.
Our phones are always half dead and cracked. That's what it is.
True.
That's how we live our lives. So then the fumble happens and they get the ball back, and while my phone was dead, so it saved me money because I was about to bet huge on the Lions just to try to hedge out my bet and then come back to win.
So the only way you can win betting is if people take your phone away? All right. I think I know a system
The only
now.
way to win is not to play at all. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned.
Solid advice.
This is the best gambling segment we've ever done.
I hope there was someone else besides Kansas City again in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm happy for
Andy Reid.
most
people did.
I'm always happy for Andy Reid. Big fat Andy Reid when he was a kid and he's at that pass kick punt deal. And I put that in another group. I just put that picture of him because it's easy to be happy. It's like something about Andy Reid, even in the commercials. When I see him interact,
I'm sick of him because of the commercials.
I like him.
Yeah.
I like Andy. I'd hug him.
No, I like Andy Reid too, and Mahomes, and but the whole story and the fact that the NFL was loving it because I don't like the NFL. I love the games. I just the organization and Roger Goodell and the whole NFL was cheesy and money hungry corporate greed it's gross. But I still consume it. I'm addicted to it. But so
not only do you consume it, you actively participate in another degenerate
you promote it all the time on this show.
Yeah. Well, I can't stop.
You're part of the problem, man.
I'm sure heroin addicts don't like.
They love heroin.
Yeah, but here's the thing I know.
They don't
about
like
heroin
the
addicts.
idea of it.
If you do talk to them, they will tell you about heroin.
They know it's ruining their lives. They know it's not good. They just can't stop. Anyway, so I just don't like the fact that we may likely see the perfect storyboard ending to the NFL.
Oh, you are.
Where
and you're gonna see Taylor Swift holding the trophy. Which I think she should be allowed to do because next stop, President Swift.
She found a way to skirt the system.
President
she said
Swift.
She'd never do a halftime show because she was anti-NFL for a long-ass time.
Yeah, well, she can't
now all of a sudden she's dating one of them, and now she can get to go to the Super Bowl. And then it doesn't look like she made any kind of moral choice, right? Because she's just supporting her man. Genius.
I mean,
you know why I like Travis Kelce is with Taylor Swift? He said something the other day. He was talking about people being mean to him, or saying something to him. He was talking about Buffalo's fans, and he was like, yeah, when we pulled up, they said some mean stuff to me and some mean stuff about Patrick Mahomes. It was whack.
Yeah. Going old there.
It was whack. Yes. Okay. I like you now. You're just like me, nerdo. You're just a fat dad waiting to knock her up, right? And then she runs for president, and then we get President Swift, right? First female president. Taylor Swift.
I don't think she wants that.
It's just setting up perfect for
it's not about what she wants. It's already set and it's already cast in the Illuminati. It's already written in the stars. It's happening.
Yeah. I mean, God. This should be a difficult game for Kansas City because it looks like the 49ers are a good team. Although the past two games they've barely won. Both of
Maybe
them.
That's just their style.
I don't know.
Fumbly wins.
I mean, if that that helmet catch doesn't happen, or Dan Campbell just kicks a field goal, I don't think they win that game. Two things.
Well, he went for it twice, right? So if you kicked both of those field goals,
or if they don't miss that one field goal at the beginning, like
the beginning one,
a couple things had to happen for the San Francisco to make it in that game, and the Chiefs easily beat Baltimore anyway. So
Baltimore didn't even. That was not even. That's why I didn't feel bad riding my bike during that game. Yeah, I'm listening to it. I'm like, I'm kind of glad I'm exercising during this game and not, because, but I did feel, I always feel really, really bad when I see somebody like Lamar Jackson. I mean, I look at that guy. I didn't like when he threw his helmet. I'm triggered by stuff like that. It makes me sad.
I did feel bad for the Lions fans because they kept showing they did a watch party at the Detroit Stadium, and it was full, and people were going insane when they're up by 2 touchdowns.
Everybody bleached their hair like Eminem.
I mean,
he was there.
Yeah, they were going crazy.
Even Kid Rock was there, and he was drinking a Bud Light.
And
he's back in.
No, I made that up. But he is back in.
When San Francisco tied the game, I was like, man, they're going to lose this. And I'm like, the Detroit was so
I'm a
happy.
Falcons fan. I knew they were going to lose it. As soon as it was tied, I was like, well, you're playing like the Falcons.
When they fumbled that ball and then San Francisco got it back on the 10 or whatever it is, I'm like, they're losing this game. Oh, my God.
You could feel the momentum.
I'm like, Eminem must be so sad.
Oh, my God.
He was screaming like they're going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Do you think Eminem was in there touching up his beard? And he was like, wait, and he ran. I was like, what, honey? He runs out there.
I know. They had that game.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, that was a devastating loss for the Lions because I
feel bad.
I would have bet a large amount of money in the middle of that game that Lions are going to win. They San Francisco couldn't stop them. Anyway. Yeah. All right, we will be right back.
All right. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Good to see ya. Let me save this thing here. Where's that go, Sam?
That is Monday 1.
Do we have anything for Monday?
We should have 3 and 4, which was Cam Bertrand. And then we'll put this for Wednesday 3, right? For the History Center?
Yeah, we'll do Wednesday 3.
Paul, you had your cards with you? Let's drop one with each of them so that they...
Perfect.
No,
All right,
Thanks
perfect.
for coming
Thank you very much.
And go ahead and give out his phone number if you want.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Daniel. Nice to meet you. Hi, pleasure.
Paul.
Nice to meet you, Paul. And Scotty, right now. So stupid.
I have one fan who loves to see me on here. So
Oh, yeah.
I think you have more than that.
I think you have more than that,
Oh, yeah?
man. Like, people like you. Yeah.
I've got somebody who will say in front of Mike and Brendan that I'm their favorite.
Oh.
Oh, wow. So you need, like, you're needing proof now.
When you guys see Scotty out, tell him you love him.
Just I need validation.
So do we need our listeners? And
Also
this
in
is
the
a
chat if
serious
you guys
question
wanna
because
let
this
them
is included in our partnership.
Yeah.
Do you want me to have listeners around Brendan come up to you and be like, "Oh my God, can we get?" And then
I
like
like
ignore.
Yeah, pretend
like
Brendan's
Do you
not
want
there.
them to
yeah.
ignore him and go
he gets
like,
all of
and
it.
then like
yeah.
get a photo, and then if Brenda or Brendan gets in there, and do you want him to be like, "No, it's fine," and then, because like,
I
got this.
The more insulting is when you get handed the camera.
They hand the camera to Brendan.
Right.
Where you can use it. Can I get a
Brendan, don't be
picture?
mad at me.
That's happened to me.
I can learn so much from you guys.
Can I get a picture? And then I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. And then they hand me the camera. I'm like, oh.
I've actually done that before, and the first time that somebody did that to me, I know where I was. I was at House of Blues. I was working for the Monsters. This is the warm-up. I was it was the time we opened for Parliament Funkadelic and George Clinton. And somebody did the thing where they're like, oh, can we get a photo? And I'm like, sure, absolutely. And they handed me the phone for me to take it. I was very insulted. I mean, it really hurt my feelings. Because it was like a gag, but it really hurt my feelings. Because they stayed with it. They didn't even come back and do the one where like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll get the photo. You know,
Right.
They didn't even do that.
Do you guys need it? Do you want to on air find out about Paul, or did you want a little briefing?
Sure, you can give us a little brief since we're pretty clueless.
Yeah. Basically, I figure we'll just ask you about what your job.
Yeah, 'cause it'll be a weird job.
Museum,
you got a song lined up?
I do.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I thought you were asking Paul.
Paul, do you have your song ready?
Are you ready to sing for us?
I didn't see any instruments out there.
16 bars and a bouncing
First time guests have to sing. That's the rule.
Real quick, you said that was one? Right?
That was one, yeah.
Sorry, this thing is not saving as quickly as I want it to. Okay. All right. If you want to use the headphones, you can. If you don't, I mean, either way, it's pretty easy, but if you need less or more audio, the little amp behind you has a number on it. It's to your left by the sign, the little blue thing, and then whatever number your headphones. I believe you're on 1, and you can give yourself yet less or more. Oh, man, I forgot about that, Sam. That was a good segment. Sing, bitch.
Oh, yeah. I blew it once on a supervillain song while Scart played the guitar.
I never got to participate.
I blew it.
All right,
I forgot what I was trying to win.
All right. Here we go. Where's this going?
Wednesday 3.
All right. I'll bring us back and kick it over to you guys. Okay. Here we go. And 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
We're going to do some Weird Job Wednesday with a client of ours.
Yeah, man.
We've got some guests in from the Orange County Regional History Center.
Yes, sir.
And we've got Paul Tremblay and Scotty here. But before that, guys, we made you a custom intro for our Weird Job today.
We did.
And,
now, should I let him pick?
Okay, yeah.
Like,
we'll let Scotty pick.
Yeah, Scotty. Okay, so we've got, do you want...
Choose wisely.
Yeah, do you want Sunshine State Memories or Florida Skies?
Oh, I'd like the Sunshine State Memories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sunshine State Memories.
Here
this
we
is
go.
your song.
In the heart of Florida, where the orange groves grow.
Oh, wow.
There's a history center, a place we used to go.
History Center.
The stories of our past, they shine so bright and clear.
So clear.
I'll take you by your hand. Let's make some memories here. Oh, the Orange County Regional History Center, making Florida history, just you and me. We'll walk through the exhibits, hand in hand, and let those old stories guide us like grains of sand.
No,
What does that mean? Guide us like grains of sand.
I want to go.
Holy, I started crying. I'm like, guide me like a grain
We
of
gotta
sand.
start
Scotty.
sharing some memories.
Scotty, guide me like a grain of sand. I am your grain. Guide me.
Man, AI is good.
Oh, so good.
I
I have not
10
been
seconds.
that inspired since Beyonce told me to grain it on that wood.
For all the young kids listening out there, do not try to do anything creative. Robots will do it
it's
in the
done.
future.
Yeah,
They're already doing it now.
You should learn to sit and look good. Learn to sit.
Just go to the beach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait it out. Yeah, it's coming. Just wait. Go to the beach and wait it out. Okay. History.
So, Paul Tremblay's here.
Hey, Paul.
How you doing, Paul?
Hello.
So we're gonna do a weird job about being a museum curator.
Oh, that's cool.
Now,
Super rare job too.
now I say museum curator, but that's not your official title, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
what's your official title, Paul?
I am the technical lead for exhibits.
Okay, so that means you are in charge of putting together the exhibits?
I design and fabricate.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now when, let's talk about how'd you even get this job to begin with?
That's a bit of a roundabout.
Okay.
Oh, I was telling you, you were like, that's the one thing I can't talk about.
That's
I killed a man.
Top secret.
That's
Killed the old one.
That's the history.
That's what Scotty was going to tell you before we started. When he said, "Hey, do you guys want to talk before we started?" Just start.
Cold start.
I needed to warn you about the vicious.
F and do it live.
And then
Yeah.
you said, "No, we'll just start and ask anything." And then it was like, "That's the one question." Oh, sorry. So how'd you start?
Where to start? Okay. Here's you bit of trivia.
Okay, yeah.
Before I came here, I actually was a practicing astronomer.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
So you went from astronomer to
Fabricator.
I was the director of the theaters at Orlando Science Center.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I
Oh,
ran the
awesome.
film theater, the observatory, and the planetarium.
Okay, awesome.
And,
Where we also work together.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
And through happenstance and burnout and such, it was time to change jobs. And this one opened up, and it's like, yeah, okay, we'll go do that.
Okay. Now, when you were you always like a history buff? I'm curious.
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
yeah, I actually have a minor in history.
There you
Okay.
go.
Because I needed a bunch of credits to graduate. So let's take history classes.
Yeah. I did that too.
Yeah,
Which there's a
I did that too.
I thought history was like, I was like, I know what happened, kind of.
It's not easy. No.
Well, there's a lot
Just
in
in
between.
general,
There's
I know what
something-
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like humans, and then the European, they took
Yeah.
over. You get the gist of it. But there's a lot in between all these wars. I'm like, what? And a huge chunk of thousands of years I didn't even know existed. Anyway.
Unfortunately, I am so immature that anytime anyone says European, I think of the joke, you're American outside the bathroom, in the bathroom, European. And I can't never, like anybody says Europe, I go right there. Peeing.
Yep.
So, Paul, when it comes to, like, let's say, is there a blank, like, you have an exhibit ending, and then you have this area, and you're like, all right, I know I have this much space, and how do you even, like, are there things in the queue where it's like a next up?
There's always stuff sitting in the hopper,
Okay.
ready, that we are working on or thinking about doing, that are in various stages of planning.
Okay.
I mean, ideally, we try to work a couple years out if we can. That's not always possible.
Sure.
That's just the way life goes. But it's a team effort. It's not just me. You got collections. You've got the other people in exhibits. You've got the marketing people. We're all working together on it, and we have to decide. Okay, we've got limited space. What's the story? What is the message we want to tell?
Yeah,
and
like
telling
hitting
the
those
story.
main points
Right.
are the thing, and hitting them correctly, or just something that I've always thought out, and I thought you guys like crushed it with the music. I'm blanking on it now.
The figurehead.
Thank you, figurehead. The flow, right?
Right.
Like going through it without necessarily hitting your peak or your climax of the exhibit too soon. You know what I mean? Like the pacing.
There's a- yeah.
Right, and that's part of you've got the geography of the space.
Right.
What do you
right,
want?
right.
How do you want to direct people? How do you want people to experience it?
So do you start with, when you're doing that, do you start with, like, let's say maybe if you're doing an exhibit and you have, let's say you have two pieces that are just like unbelievable. Do you start with the biggest and most impressive pieces and try to work your way, or is it
Sometimes.
different every time?
It's different every time. Sometimes you do have an artifact or a piece of the story that is the thing. And then you work around that. Okay, we know we want to feature this, so how do we, tell the story around that? In other cases, you've just got artifacts, and you've got a story you want to tell, and you just, fill in the blanks, as you go. What artifacts do we have that help tell this story? And that's where collections comes in. In the meantime, we're trying to figure out, how are we going to shoehorn this into this space? Do we have too much, too little? What's the look of it? I mean, if you've been through Figurehead, you see we used a lot of pipe in it, and that kind of gave that do-it-yourself industrial feel
Sure.
that Figurehead represented. Here was a man who was using payphones to contact these and communicate with these bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
yeah.
allowed, like, is there anything that's off limits, like as far as like materials that you can use, or are you allowed to use just like sort of off the shelf?
I can,
Like,
for the most part, as long as it's safe
Sure.
and legal, I can, use pretty much whatever I want. I mean, obviously there's budgetary constraints.
See, I love that because
Yeah.
you know that, like, and this kind of ties in. You know that sampler that I bought that I'm getting for me and Maisie to play around with?
Yeah.
One of the interesting things about it, I bought like a music sampler that me and my daughter are messing around with, but one of the interesting things about it is it's put together using all parts that are off the shelf. Like, there's nothing there that was like custom made for it. So when you think about it from the standpoint of like repairing something, or like in your world when you're doing something, the ability for you to go and like maybe get the material from like a Home Depot, a Lowe's, or whatever, or
Right.
just a friend of yours, Skycraft. These
Yeah.
are all things that, like, I think real like small businesses or people doing it, one-off museum pieces, it's a benefit, right? To the speed of how quickly you can pivot your exhibit, and
Right.
fix it up.
Right, and then what do we have in inventory that we can reuse?
Right, exactly.
You know.
Because, like, I'm sure budget that was going to be my next
Oh, yeah.
question is that the most difficult thing? Like, when you're looking at it, I mean, not only like pipe, I mean, it looks great, and sure, it's a simple material, but if you buy enough of it, it's extremely expensive.
And so when the exhibit's done, we'll take it all apart, put it in bins, store it on the shelf.
And then you got more stuff.
And, 2 years from now, it's like, hey, we got pipe. We can use that for this.
So
that's awesome.
Is there like any particular like timing that is in the museum business or world that you're like, you don't want your exhibit to take too long for someone to walk through, and
that's a great question.
or go through too fast? And it's like, in the movie industry, I feels like movies have settled around the 2 hour mark, hour and a half, 2 hour, where it's like that's about as long as people.
Give me a
rockin' Oppenheimer, my God.
Give me a rockin' 88 minutes, man. Let's go.
It's around there. So in the museum world, is there like exhibit can't be too long because you lose people's interest,
Well,
but
I
it
don't
can't
know
be too
about
short?
that.
I actually one thing that this is also speaking from experience at the Science Center as well. You're actually excited when we call it dwell time, and if people spend a lot of time in an exhibit, it means that they're digging it. And
Cool.
And there are techniques. They're very simple, but those things are time to understand. How somebody's enjoying, and so. Kind of one way that we did it when we worked at the Science Center when New Kidstown opened up. I don't know if they still call it new because it's not. But
I do like the idea of it. When it opened, it was New Kidstown. Now it's just like a dystopian wasteland, right? It's like.
But what we would do there is we would give a volunteer, somebody, a guest, a card, and when then we'd write down the time that they entered, and when they left, they would hand us that card, and we'd write it down again so that we could understand.
I did that one time for them, but it was it's like a thing.
Yeah,
it was like a thing, and they had a timer on me, and I went through the exhibit. When you get to the end, you hand it to them. They were running a timer the whole time to see how you liked it. Not but I've done that before to test.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be kind of each individual's person. I mean, if they're really interested in what this subject matter is, they might spend hours in there looking at every little thing, reading every bit of text. And someone else comes through, it doesn't have as much, interest. They'll kind of wander through. Oh, that's interesting, and move on to something else.
I wouldn't be surprised if Figurehead was people were lingering. There was a lot to look at there, even just on like what you guys chose to use for like wallpaper, just stapling flyers everywhere.
Right.
It was so cool. Like I even caught myself reading those.
That's what people did.
Yeah.
They went to the copy machine, they printed off stuff, and they stapled them all over town to advertise these shows. And we've had people who have walked in and been doing that reading. It's like, oh my God, I went to that show.
Yeah. That's great.
Are there any exhibits that you would like to do, but you're missing a key pice that you want in that, or like
you're holding out until you can get that piece?
Yeah. Is there anything like that
I really don't know that there's anything.
Because you
like
can always
that.
build around what you're missing as well too. It's like this is what
True.
You kind of used to. Do you only start an exhibit when you already have the stuff, or do you come up with the concept?
No,
like do you come up with the idea and then try and source?
A lot of times
the stuff,
you have the idea, because we have the advantage, as all museums do. We've got the network of museums all over the world, all over the country. We can go to, a museum, say. In Texas or Arkansas, and say, hey, we are aware that you have this artifact. Can we borrow it for 3 months?
Okay.
And work out an agreement, and they'll ship it to us, and
that's cool.
We have it on display for.
It also gives me just buckets of anxiety borrowing people's.
Gets lost in mail or something.
I want to borrow as an anxiety man, and you guys all know me as that, and like a shaky little dog. I do not want to borrow people's history. Because that scares me, because I'm going to ruin it or forget it.
You could, right. And I think a good rule of thumb between friends is if I'm loaning this to you, I may just consider that it will never come back.
Oh, right.
That's kind of how I try to think of it. But,
like my Sawzall
but I think
were talking about
in
earlier.
this case, you're talking everything's well documented. We are and your professionals are handing things over to professionals.
Exactly. And as a Smithsonian accredited institution. we can go to them.
Thanks for getting that in there.
And say, hey.
Well, I mean, like that kind of goes in with our membership, right? Like you've talked about before, the fact that you have a membership, there are benefits you get from other organizations, other museums, other places, other historical societies that you can benefit from just by belonging to, Orange County Regional.
Yep.
Exactly. We can
Orlando
contact the Smithsonian and say, hey, do you have any artifacts on this subject that we could borrow?
That's awesome.
And is there like a museum, unwritten code that you have to loan it out to other museums? And or could they just be like, no, we're not going to lend it to you?
Not feeling it.
They could say no, and not all institutions are. And it also depends on the item, right? They might, one thing might be one story, but another they're like, I don't know, just randomly thinking, like, we have Billy the Swan, and he's so delicate, I don't think we would ever say to anybody, you can...
Great example.
It's just not safe to transport them, across country or across the state.
Yeah, and they do that. I was watching something on YouTube the other day, and they were talking about large art installations and how some of those, the only way they can get there is by a boat, and they're loaded in, and I'm like, that's just nuts. You think about, it's just crazy. Could take a couple months to get that thing from wherever to wherever.
Yeah. Oh, just shipping something super fragile. And then, it would be insanely expensive and hard to do.
Yeah. What's the hardest part of when you're designing it? What's the hardest part of it?
To design for an artifact or just an exhibit itself?
Well, if you're building the exhibit around, let's say something, and you're what would you say is the biggest thing to tackle?
The biggest thing to tackle a lot of times, maybe, if it's an artifact, maybe the safety of that particular artifact, if it's delicate or type of thing. In an exhibit itself, you want to make sure that your installation is safe. It's not going to fall down. You kind of have to anticipate what people are going to do. Like in Figurehead, we got all that pipe structure. We had to make sure that stuff was anchored, very well, because people are going to grab it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be able to pull it loose from the wall and have
especially
crashing
now.
down
I feel like we're going through a grab it phase.
Oh yeah.
Of the world, we used to be a little less hands-on. I feel like now we're grabbing them, getting everything. Just,
we were told for that bit of time, don't touch anything, and now we're like, making up for it.
I'm going through a bit of a grab it renaissance. I
hate it. Touchscreens. I blame our phones.
You're probably right.
Oh, my sons.
You're probably right.
Will try to touch any TV. You know what I'm saying? Like if they see a TV or something, they'll go up and they'll try to touch. They don't understand that everything touchscreen.
They're gonna have to knock that off before the robots get here. You start poking a robot at his touchscreen face.
Oh, they're not going to be. Yeah,
they're not going to like that. They're not going to like that at all.
So I guess when it comes to the actual exhibit, how long is there a set amount of time that you run them, or do you kind of leave it free flowing depending on the popularity?
Varies. Some exhibits may run for 6 months, others may run for over a year. It all depends on the subject matter, why it was put in.
Some spaces are intended to be short, like our pop-up space. We have these beautiful paintings by Jim Quinlan there right now, and that's just for a few months, and then we have something else cool coming into there, and that's a interesting story because that only happened because we got this donation from Regions Bank of these paintings, and it was like, well, these have to be seen.
And they're gorgeous paintings.
Were these paintings originally in a Regions Bank? Or?
They were, and the Regions Bank that's on the corner of Orange and Washington, they did this crazy renovation. Like there are walls where there were not walls before. I didn't even know about the paintings coming to us, and I walked by and went, what is happening in there? But apparently these paintings did not match the aesthetic of the new location, the new renovation. And they luckily thought to see if we would like them for the collection, and we said yes. And then Jim Quinlan was a bit of a mystery man, but we, through social media, have been able to connect with his sons and learn a little bit more about him. He unfortunately is no longer with us, but he was an architectural, what is the word for it? Architectural illustrator, I think.
Right, he worked for, Disney, didn't he?
Yeah, he did some Epcot stuff, like several different places. But Epcot,
weird art here, man.
Yeah.
We have strange connections. Like the Traveler, that thing out at MCO, that strange sculpture that looks like a sleeping man.
Which I fell for the first time.
Me
for
too.
Sure.
And they've been renovating that. I guess they just finished that a couple of weeks ago. I pulled that a couple of weeks ago to talk about because I kind of deemed that Orlando history, you know, and that's another piece of art that when I started looking up the guy that actually made that original piece that you can see at our airport, his original works were very dark. Like the guy's first his first sculpture was like a race massacre, and then the other one was like a body autonomy sort of a thing, like a statement for women, pro-abortion. I'm like, wow, it's like the more you dig into this stuff, you may not even know to kind of go along with what you're saying. It's like you get a donation of a painting, you don't know anything about it, you start digging in and looking at it, and then it's like super duper interesting backstory.
Yeah.
How many of these paintings do you guys have?
We have 5 of them.
Wow.
And they're Orlando of yesteryear. And it turns out through our folks figured this out that he painted them from postcards, and we have 3 of them in the collection, so they're displayed, but we're trying to hunt for the other 2. And but it's like, Lake Eola, like I had never known it before the fountain. The bandshell used to be in the lake, and there was a bridge that went to it, and so they're pretty cool to look at.
In the lake, huh?
Yeah.
That's cooler. We got to bring that back.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd like to see a band playing in the lake.
Do you? I know we've talked about this before, but if someone comes to you with like some part of Central Florida history, do you have to, like, let's say, like they
Pawn Star it.
Yeah, Pawn Star. When they come to you,
sorry.
like, I have Mr. Bumby's sword that he
legendary
used.
Bumby sword.
And then you're like, okay, well, this would be a good exhibit, Mr. Bumby's
See, it says
sword,
his name right there, engraved right there.
Yeah.
Well, if it's not the one he pulled from the stone.
Well, okay. Hey,
Okay,
here you go.
All
All right. Back in the 1800s, the sheriff of Orange County,
Okay.
Sheriff Mizell, was killed in the line of duty. He was shot by a member of the Barbers.
Okay.
Okay? Only Orange County sheriff to ever die in the line of duty.
That was a feud, right?
It was a feud between the 2 families.
Okay, this is 1800s, so this is like cowboy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Barber's another last name, Barber?
Yeah.
Is that, okay.
Anyway, back about 4 or 5 years ago, during Pioneer Days, down in Ocala, the descendants of the 2 families got together and formally ended the feud.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they mock fought each
No,
other at a
no.
Waffle House.
Anyway, they donated to us what was, according to the family, the shotgun used to kill the sheriff.
Holy moly!
All right. Well, once we got our hands on it and started examining it, we found maker marks on it from the gunsmith, which we researched and discovered that the gun had actually been manufactured 5 years after the sheriff had been killed.
Oh, God. They had this.
So what we ended
Get
up,
'em.
so we ended up having to do was,
So we shot him with the gun.
right. Yeah. No. So what we ended up doing was still put the gun on display. It's in display up on the 4th floor, but we turned the exhibit around to talk about family lore and folklore and
Beautiful.
how family stories are great, but sometimes they don't always have.
You should talk about your family. Everything his family says is a goddamn lie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna curse.
My grandfather's like, this is a gun I World War II.
Everything he
It's built in the
says,
70s.
Everything he said, not a
yeah.
Native
Al
American.
Capone stairs.
This happens a lot.
Al Capone stairs, not a Native American.
Yeah.
What else was there?
No, the Al Capone stairs are real.
I don't believe it.
So yeah,
We're gonna
stuff
get
like
them
this
on the
happens.
case.
But that becomes part of the history, right? It's sort of like
It does.
you guys came to the museum and we looked at the Ted Bundy thing
Oh, I
and,
loved
and how
it.
that became.
Yeah.
It's a hoax, but now it's become
Right.
part of the history.
But Scotty, let me tell you something. I met with people that night, and they're like, "Oh, what did you do today?" And I was telling them, like, "Oh, I went to the place." You know that the desk isn't really Ted Bundy's. I don't care. It's still pretty cool. It doesn't.
Exactly.
The truth doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter to people
Paul,
that it wasn't his. They're just like, well, kind of is. I'm like, no, it isn't. It's not kind of.
Paul, did you get to tell the family that the shotgun was fake? And
well,
that's what I would love.
God, did it fog your glasses up?
I
Oh, my
love telling people their things are fake.
Yeah, oh, I do it
My
on
favorite
Facebook all the
thing.
time. I do it on Facebook. There was one yesterday.
This video fake.
There
You
was-
couldn't do it though in person. If it was
Oh,
online, you could do it.
I could do it. I
He
could
hates
totally do it.
I'll write
confrontation.
an email.
He'll have me do it.
He'll
He'll have me do it. There was one yesterday where there was a guy pretending to be an old lady that fell down, and then when the person would help him, they turn around and they had an ugly face mask on. It scared the person into a puddle. Totally fake. Totally fake.
Did you tell her?
No. We passed the word, up to the executive director at the time, and she went and told them.
Call.
Damn.
And they were all fine with it. It was like, okay, yeah.
We can't take this gun. It's trash.
No, they pretended to be fine with it. They were crushed
sad.
inside.
Yeah.
They showed all their friends. They're like, "This is the gun that killed the sheriff."
Famous.
Yeah, and then all their friends they kept it the lie
I'm
with
gonna
their
get
friends.
free
by the way.
passes to the history center. You'll see. And it never works. And I like it when they do it on Antiques Roadshow, and the person went from thinking,
You start crying.
they
it's
get
the
so
worst.
sad, and then they realize that their family lies to them. And here's a newsflash for everybody: your family is who's going to lie to you the most.
Yeah.
Scotty, let's talk about the History Alive tours coming back.
Oh yeah. We History Alive is happening on February 4th. It was originally scheduled for the 3rd, but we have this massive Olympic trial happening, marathon, which is awesome and exciting. Except it's making it. The people who are going to the History Center that day will already be down there for the marathon.
Yeah.
You can't get to
nerds.
us. Everything is blocked off that day. So we're having it on Sunday, February 4th, and there'll be 2 times for it. I think it's 11:30 and 2. And they'll be giving you a tour of the building, and this is something that we're trying out to see how people like it, and if they do, and I hope you do, we'll be doing it more often.
Yeah, go check it out. It's super duper fun. If you've never been down there to see it, it's definitely worth seeing.
Yeah,
really,
also,
really cool.
With Black History Month coming up, you have an exhibit honoring Black heritage.
Well,
February 17th.
We have we always have. There's an exhibit that we always have on the floor, and then of course the history interspersed. But we'll have an event on the 17th, and that's honoring Black heritage and culture. This is a free day because the good folks from Florida Humanities are underwriting the day, so everybody can come for free. And we've got 8 African American craft artists who are going to be doing demonstrations and showing you what they do, from creating instruments to quilting to there's one person who puts cool fashion on Barbie dolls. And we've got Sean Welcome, who's a poet laureate for the city of Orlando, coming to tell his own personal story and journey and do some of his poems. If you've ever experienced him, he's pretty cool.
I didn't even know we had a poet laureate.
This is our second one.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, Susan Lilly was our first one, and Sean Welcome, he's a cool guy. So
very cool.
We're excited to have him.
What an honor to have.
We'll have food, Black-owned business right out front doing food. Then the kids with the Black bee hunting, I think it's called.
Okay.
The little entrepreneurs will be there selling their hunting.
That's
so
cool.
and
man.
There's more that I'm forgetting.
You guys always do the fun
yeah.
stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's 10 to 3, February 17th, totally free, so you have no excuse. Come on out.
Awesome. Well, Paul, thanks so much for coming in.
Well,
telling
nice
us about
meeting
the job.
you, man.
I
Thanks so much
appreciate
for
it.
the time.
Thanks for having me out.
Scotty, always a pleasure. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having
The Orange County Regional History Center, thehistorycenter.org.
Yep.
Find out all your information there.
Yeah, go be a member.
Yeah, that's the easiest way. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
Awesome, guys.
Perfect.
We're still on Twitch and YouTube, and that was great.
Perfect.
If I'm a Black-owned business, do we get special deals on food? I don't think so, but you can ask the other Black-owned business. If
Right, you guys
be like,
can-
hey,
you
hook
guys
me
can work
up.
that
I mean,
out.
that's between y'all.
You can work that out.
I would say no, because
Probably just support the
yeah,
business.
just support the business.
Thanks, guys.
But I do
Oh
like
man,
the
thank
ass.
you guys. That was super fun.
thanks.
Pleasure meeting you, man. Thanks for coming in. That was fun.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Nice shoes, Scotty. Did you just polish those? Looking good, man. All of my shoes look like scuffed up trash.
Bye. It's good seeing you. Nice meeting you, Paul.
Tell everybody we said hey, Scotty. Oh, awesome. Thank you very much. That's one. That's Monday. No.
That is that is Wednesday 3.
Wednesday 3.
Wednesday 3.
And
Wednesday
then for
1 was Wallace
The first
Shawn.
segment we did 20, so we can do another 20.
Yeah.
For the guests. Or
No.
no. We did more.
We did 21.
21.
But yeah, so you want to put him Monday too?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just so.
Is that the 31st?
Wednesday is the 31st. Yes.
See you guys. Drive safe. So we already have something for Wednesday, right?
Yes. We have Wednesday 1 done, which was a 30-minute segment with Wallace Shawn. What's happening out there?
You know, hold on. Stay here.
Okay.
We'll bring it inside during the segment.
All right.
The biggest fucking bike I've ever
I
seen.
know. I'm not getting what he brought it. I saw him wheeling it. I'm like, well, I can't ride that. Or maybe.
Well, he's
no,
big.
maybe the video should be me trying to ride it.
We're gonna bring it in.
I'll try to ride it.
Hey, Dan.
What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah, man. I remember I'd get a bunch of emails from you. It's funny that, too, you must have some bike energy in the air because I was working on bikes all day yesterday.
Okay.
My derailleur on my road bike, after sitting for a while, something's messed up.
Okay.
And I should have brought it today. Knowing you were going to be here, I knew somebody that knows bikes better than I do.
Yeah, we could tweak it, get it going.
It's got something that's just not letting it release. And I rather than break it, I think I'm going to get it in front of somebody that knows what they're doing.
Smart.
Because I started pushing on it, and then it looked a little funky. And I'm like, I don't want to break this thing. It's too expensive.
I don't even know how to use the gears on my bike, so I'm on the I've never even ridden the bike outside yet. I'm going this Friday for the first time with Daniel.
Yeah, we're gonna
Me and Daniel are gonna go on a bike ride together.
Let me pee real fast.
And so I'm on the thing. I'm trying to figure out the gears, and it's like,
Oh, your chain's gonna pop off.
And then it gets real hard, and I'm like,
That's good. I can't wait for this.
they told me to get
triathlon.
clip-in shoes, and then I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I got they're just using the cages that it has on there, and I barely
So you
stick my
put your
toe.
foot into the cage to get it going?
Yeah. But it doesn't do anything.
You're wearing those shoes to bike? Oh no, you got like old dusty Adidas or something.
No, yeah. Well, that's a whole other story. Crystal bought me running shoes, but my feet are two different sizes.
Right.
So we bought two different size shoes. I got a 10.5 and a 9.5. So I'm wearing those, but it feels weird, and there's because I have to buy two pairs, like $200 and something. So I'm like, should these be perfect? Like my toes feel weird in them. And then Crystal's like, don't wear them if they're not perfect. So I keep wearing my old shoes, and she's like, just go to the store. But
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
gonna have to try some on. Go to Ross. They got running shoes
So you
there.
have to break them in.
Yeah, you gotta break them in, man.
Everybody's suggesting I go to a running, where they measure,
yeah.
a whole,
Yeah.
do the whole thing.
Maybe you need wide width because your foot got smashed, so maybe your toes are so you need like a wide width shoe.
It's the non-smash foot. It's like my feet.
Oh,
are,
maybe your other foot got smashed in, and you need a
something
narrow.
like that.
You need a
I'm going to
narrow
the-
for that one and a wide width for the other one.
I'm going to the Florida Non-Smash Foot Beer Festival.
And then my feet are all like one foot is crooked.
that the crushed one?
I've never paid attention to my
You
feet.
got a Rumpelstiltsfoot.
Oh,
They're all different and
You got a
crooked.
Rumple Crumple?
Yeah. And I've never paid attention to it before, but now I'm like, yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyway, it's fine.
I don't want to ride bikes with somebody with a Rumpelstiltsfoot. That's kind of gross. All right, let me check
See,
your
I'm gonna move
camera.
this mic closer.
Yeah, you want to get about that close to the microphone, about an inch off of it. I'm just getting your camera looking
And
good.
I'm going to
here.
get on my bike and take off as fast as I can.
eat shit.
I'm gonna
No,
go
but in the fastest speed, so you're just spinning. You're going real slow.
I like to ride fast.
All right.
I don't know any of the signals or what to say.
Signals? It's not like scuba diving.
well, like left and right, like turning.
Yeah, I don't know
oh,
any
well,
of
that's
that.
easy.
You shouldn't have to signal if you're in a race.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
just follow
say.
the arrows.
But it helps you if you do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying we're
Thanks.
just me and
good.
Daniel.
Help him
Daniel
out.
said he's gonna take me on some trail. Like I don't know.
Not just the one around
Do you
Baldwin.
get?
No, I was going to put him on Katie Way and just go, I
Oh,
mapped
yeah.
out. He only has to go 12 miles, and
Okay.
my normal ride just happens to be right at 12. So I was like, we got it. Because it's a pretty straight shot. You got a couple of places you got to look for cars, but you shoot across.
So you just fly by joggers, right?
You do, but
Stay
Be
on your
careful.
left, pass them
Yeah.
on their left,
Left.
from behind.
We'll see
so
how
they know
much
you're coming.
passing.
Someone told me that they stopped saying that because they would scream on your left, and then the
I usually
joggers
just ding my bell.
don't
I ding my
understand,
bell as well,
and
yeah.
then they jump to the left. Like they'll
I
get
don't run a
into your
bell on my
way.
red bike, though, so I usually say something. I'll clear my throat.
Like,
I'll go, excuse me.
A big problem these days is everyone has. their
I'm
iPads.
behind you.
yeah, they
There's
don't
a
hear
earbuds
it.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
that's
say
true.
stuff, and then finally you get up next to them and they jump, like you said.
Yeah.
So they get in your way. So it's better just fly by them without
I
telling
usually
anything.
get real close, though, and if it's a woman, I usually touch their ass.
Come on.
You're allowed to do it. International road. All right, would you like to start?
Yeah.
Here we go. Where's this go?
Monday too.
Monday 2, 3, 2,
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got a guest in today. He brought his mega bike, which we're going to roll in here. I'm not joking.
You told me not to even look at it.
Yeah.
No,
Sam, I'm not
I had
even
to go
joking.
pee. I had to go pee, so I walked in there, and then the effing, I almost cursed. The effing tires on this bike are up to my neck. Like the tire, I could literally put my chin on the tire. It's the circumference of each tire is 5 feet tall.
Do you think you could even ride it a little bit?
I could balance it, but it's gonna look like. Have you ever seen those videos on TikTok where the rednecks? You seen the videos on TikTok where the rednecks they build the world's biggest golf cart and then they
yeah. Oh, at lunch we're gonna go outside. Can you attempt to?
I think yeah.
Okay,
I won't be able to sit on the seat, but I'll try to ride it.
BDM Gary's here. How you doing, Gary?
Doing well.
Gary?
Thanks
Good
for having me in
you,
today.
man. Yeah, we haven't seen you in a minute.
So we've had Gary on before talking about his bicycle adventures.
Yeah.
Where he's...
Don't say it like that.
Well, I mean that's what they are.
Yeah,
They're
but
grand
it sounds like
adventures.
stupid and gay.
Gary specializes in grand adventures on his bicycle.
Oh, grand is even worse. Grand adventures? What are you, the king?
I guess endurance rides. I don't know how
just say it's a hobby or something.
No, well, it's not just. He's not just mountain biking, in the trails, like my buddy, but he goes far as hell. So, Gary, you got one coming up, and what are we talking here?
Yeah, so February 3rd, doing the Hurricane 300 is the name of it, because it started out originally as 300 miles. Then every year, Single Track Samurai, the guy who created this route, he adds mileage. So this year it's going to be 390 miles, and it's this big loop through Central Florida that attaches different mountain bike trail systems, forest roads, a little bit of paved path, and some paved connectors to make the loop.
Okay.
How do you get a nickname, the Single Path Samurai?
Single Track Samurai.
Yeah, Single Track Samurai.
Oh,
it's a .com. Okay.
Yeah.
So Single Track is a single trail for like mountain biking.
Okay. I can see Tom get angry at Single Track Samurai. I know him so well. His eyebrows jiggle just.
And he's a local guy. You guys should have him in. He's from DeLand.
Oh, right on.
Oh, yeah. You totally get your vibe.
Yeah, please.
Well, I love when someone within something becomes like the leader of that thing that no one else beyond this
river
world.
rafting Randy. I'm the craziest river rafter on the water.
Because in every hobby and everything there is the people that are really into it and the locals and they
like Mattress Mac.
Yeah, well, no, it's like my peacock bass fishing, like my buddy Dre down in Miami.
Well, that's an invasive species.
No, but there's the peacock bass fishing like world that he lives in, and all the characters in that world, and the biggest guy, and it's huge to them. And outside, none of us know it even exists.
Oh, chat room knows of him, and they say he's dope. They love Single Track Samurai. Shout out to Single Track Samurai and DeLand.
So
that's awesome.
390 miles.
That's a lot.
You're breaking this up into multiple days, correct?
Yeah, so it's bike packing, which is similar to backpacking, but instead of carrying the gear on our bodies, we put on our bikes. So when the bike comes in later,
is the gear just on your bike, or can you wear a backpack?
You could also wear a backpack, but then it's on your shoulders all day.
Right.
It's a lot, but you can.
And so you're bringing a tent. Like what's in the gear?
Sure. So it depends. I'd say maybe 20% of the time I actually bring a tent. A lot of times I just sleep with a tarp. If the weather's right,
you
sleep outside.
Real man.
You sleep outside under the stars.
Like just like granola bars.
Roll yourself in a tarp like a dead body.
Can you just go to a hotel? Like there's gotta be.
No, the samurai would not like that. Single Track Samurai.
I mean, if you're a P word, you can.
Yeah. You think old Single Track does that? He don't do that.
Well, that way, if it's nighttime and everybody's stopping, or can you continue if you want to?
I'd continue.
You can keep going. Some folks will go all night. Some guys can stay awake 30, 36 hours. They just
not only would I do it at night, I take my pants off while I'm riding, and then I tell everybody in the morning. I was like, I did the whole night ride with my pants off.
So the people that obviously never stop, they're in contention to win the whole thing, right? It's a race, right?
It is, but at the same time, the bikepacking community, it's like whatever you want to do. If you want to take 10 days to do a route, you can do it. If you want to go as fast as you can do it. everyone's real supportive of one another.
Tom doesn't like that. He likes
So-
guidelines and records to break. He doesn't like it when it's like, hey, everybody can do this at your
Let's
own
help
pace
each
and
other
have fun. Oh my God!
You think he's gonna help anybody in this triathlon?
Yeah.
He's gonna be tripping people.
I would.
He's gonna put a stick in someone's spokes.
Have you ever seen
get on the
somebody
tee.
bike pack with a? They have a swim cap with hair coming out of it.
I've not seen that yet.
Are you gonna
Yeah.
cut the top out of your swim cap like a headband?
I'd build an electric motor in my mountain bike.
Cheater, pumpkin.
Oh, by the way, I rode my
but-
road bike for the first time yesterday in months. Everybody around me, electric bikes, nobody pedaling.
Yeah.
Not one person pedaled. Everybody just riding around on bikes.
By the way, I'd start with a
Sucks.
decoy that looked like me, and then I'll be in the tent halfway through, and then when the decoy will switch places, and then that way, I have the advantage of definitely win.
And all of our listeners look like you. They write us and tell us all the time, just like you, right? There you go.
So the 390 miles, I know it's not all trails, and some of it's like paths and stuff, but it doesn't even seem like there's that many bike trails and paths
That
to
sounds
run through
hard.
Central Florida. Like, what are we talking? How far north and south is it going?
Sure. So we start over in Santos, Bellevue area of Florida. It's a little bit to the west of Ocala. And then this year we're going counterclockwise. So we go down through the Citrus Wildlife Management Area. It's a huge forest. Then we cut down into Croom. I know you've done some off-road motorcycling through there.
Yeah. I saw that there's a big Croom Forest bike trail thing.
Yeah.
Again, Tom likes the motor.
Yeah, so we go through there.
This is where the girls ride. I can hear you.
And there's actually a map. So we use satellite trackers. So you can track all the riders and watch our progress.
Okay.
Oh, I
So
love that.
Trackleaders.com. You could log on now.
We can follow
Yeah.
you.
You can follow me, everyone else that's
Yeah,
riding.
so you can follow his ride at
And you can-
trackleaders.com/hurricane24. That's HURACAN 24.
I'm gonna follow you, man.
Yeah, we can
That's
follow
dope.
him.
How many miles are you able to do per hour? And like when you break it down, like 390 will take you how long?
Sure, 3 to 4 days.
Okay.
So we're trying to do like 100 miles each day, camp at night, rest, wake up in the morning and start again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
haul.
Yeah, that is. But I like these endurance style. Like it's just like a challenge, and you do it because you're just challenging yourself, right? Like.
Yeah, I love to do it. I love the adventure. If this was hundreds of years ago, I'd be with Lewis and Clark. It'd be Lewis, Clark, and Gary out there, exploring, doing stuff.
That's cool.
But he actually has a purpose for this ride.
Yeah,
right?
this is a
so
good one.
he's
This is a
raising
good
some
one.
money.
Yeah, so this year, attaching to the ride, a little fundraiser campaign for my brother-in-law, Mike Smith. He's suffering from ocular melanoma, and it's a rare form that has required my sister and her family to travel to Miami weekly to get trial treatments, up to Philadelphia, again, for these trial treatments that, trying to help him out. Help him. They've got 5 kids.
Wow.
So I've started a GoFundMe. I've passed the link to
Yep.
Sam.
Nice,
Sharing
man.
it everywhere.
Yeah, we put it in there.
So any way we can spread the word, really appreciate any support, listeners
sure.
can give,
No,
anyone can give.
Absolutely. No,
What a
we'll
noble
donate
and
to that.
amazing. Yeah, we'll absolutely make a donation and help out. And what a noble thing to do and include your hobby. That's really, really cool, man.
And how much nutrition do you have to bring, or like what are you eating during this time? Is it all gel packs?
Also, I'd like to point out that he's like, it's not like if I were sitting there in perfect shape, it'd be a little different, right? I mean, describe to our audience, who I don't think they know, how tall you are.
So I'm 6'7", about 215 pounds.
Yeah. I do think that matters because I think you take this guy to CC's Pizza, it's a whole different ball game. You know what I mean?
By the way, I weighed at one point more than 250.
Yeah. And you're 5'10".
Actually 5'9". I was
gonna say on a good day.
I've lied my whole life.
I knew I was
everything
taller than you.
My mom told me I was 5'10", and then I
You just
realized
listen to everything your mom says.
when I was 30,
Everything's a lie.
and then I actually
Your family does lie to you about
I
everything.
measured myself. The doctor's like, you're 5'9" barely. And I'm like, what? And they're like, I'm like, I'm fine. I says it on my driver's license. I'm like, you're
a goddamn liar to the
doctor's
States.
like, you're a liar, and your feet are stupid. Anyway.
Tom, I try to keep the calories coming, so I snack like every hour and a half. I keep snacks on the bike.
What
So
kind of
whether
snacks, though?
It's bars, honey waffle stingers, honey waffle gels. I brought a
Honey
pack.
waffle stingers. I know what
Sounds
that is.
great.
I brought a pack
yeah.
for everybody.
All
I brought a
right.
pack for
No,
everyone.
they're good. They're
So-
they sell them at bike shops. They're
Yeah.
good.
I mean, could you roll by a Jersey Mike's? and get
Just
a
eat a sub while you're biking.
How quickly, if I brought one in right now, how quickly could you demolish the gargantuan from Jimmy John's?
Oh yeah, that's a good sub.
Yeah, the
So-
gargantuan. Though I've never had the gargantuan.
Yeah, how big is it? Like
It's supposed to be
24?
gargantuan.
And part of these routes, you're going through these real remote places, so you stop for resupply at like a Circle K, a Kangaroo, the 88 store out in the Ocala
So you see a
National
lot of
Forest.
homeless people.
You do,
Get
and
a
I've
big
actually,
hot dog.
I was actually I was mistaken for a homeless person on one ride, where
With a nice ass bike?
I'd been riding for multiple days, stopped in a convenience store to get some food.
But you got a lot of stuff draped
Yeah.
on
That's
it.
true.
It's covered with stuff.
Like camping supplies.
Probably
You put a
dirty,
trash
yeah.
bag over your seat to keep it dry. I know what you are.
Yeah, you're living in the woods
Yeah.
for 4
You're
days.
just one pee-pee dog with goggles away from being a piece of trash.
By the way, the gargantuan 16 inches.
Hey.
16 inches.
How much meat on that gargantuan?
Depends. You can get double meat.
I was just sitting outside at a little picnic table having some food, and one of the customers, it was a real remote part of Florida down by Clewiston. A customer came in, saw me. He left some money with the store clerk. Then he left. And then after he left, the store clerk came out and said, the gentleman wants you to have this money.
Oh, you gave me
So nice.
So it's really
you should
amazing.
put that towards your fundraiser.
I should.
Yeah, put it towards that's great.
So it's really amazing that there's people out there that just want to help you.
Maybe you could dress
I
homeless.
tried to refuse it and give it to the store clerk so she can give it to someone else, but she wouldn't even
Man.
take it back.
I
So I,
wish
just
you-
paid it forward later on down the ride.
That's great.
I wish you could have yelled to him. The fact that I'm doing this means that I'm well off. No poor person takes 5 days with a mountain bike that is custom made to myself. That's out of the $10,000. I don't even know. And they're like, this costs a lot of money to do.
Do you want to bring in the bike?
Yes, I do. All right,
yeah.
I'm Gary. I'm
All
gonna
right.
grab your bike.
Okay.
Don't
All right, so
break
Don't mess it
anything.
up. Don't mess it up. Does he have to do anything to roll it in here, or is that
God.
okay?
No, he'll have to turn it around, so we'll see.
You got to turn it around, he says, so don't smash it.
This is the Dirty Sixer. So this is a bike made for tall people by this company here in the U.S., Dirty Sixer.
Dirty Sixer.
Yeah.
And it's made. Oh, he's smashing.
He's already saying, uh-oh, what's
Look
happening?
at how
Here
big
it
this bike
comes.
is.
Oh, my God.
Here it comes.
The handlebars are up to your face.
Yeah, look at that thing.
How big it is.
Look how big that bike is, dude.
Oh my
I don't even know if we can put it on the camera.
Oh, sorry.
Like, look how big the bike
It's as
is.
big as the studio, not
Like,
even
hold
kidding.
on.
It's bigger than our couch.
Show people. Like, when I
It's almost
stand,
as tall as Dan.
okay, here, this is my chest. I'm putting my hand out. This
my-
is where the seat goes.
Let me try to get on this thing. Hold on. Gary, hold it still for me.
Okay, Tom's going to try and get on Gary's mega bike here.
Hold on. I can't even get my...
Your jeans are too baggy.
Oh!
He had to lift his foot
Oh,
over.
yeah, I don't know if I can get over that.
No, you can't. Definitely can't. Wow.
Wowie, that's a big boy bike.
I couldn't even... Look how tall I am. I can touch the...
Dude, that's crazy. So let's talk about your. Let's get you off of there and talk to Gary a little. How big is that? Is that the largest bike you can like buy?
You're boxing me in here.
So yeah, most bikes these days either have a 26-inch or 29-inch wheels.
Yeah.
So this is a 36-inch wheel. So the
Holy.
circumference of the wheels is 3 feet. It comes from a unicycle.
Is this
Actual comes
for,
from
like-
unicycle design.
I thought the side of the bike said Dirty Sanchez. When at first I looked at it, I was like,
Is
you have to wrote Dirty Sanchez on the side?
is this
yeah.
a bike for like Shaquille O'Neal or like?
Funny you say that, Dan.
Yeah.
Shaq actually has a Dirty Sixer, and these bikes are targeted towards NBA players or just anyone who's tall.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have something that fits your body.
Yeah, man,
Just like any other person who's out looking to buy a bike,
Just
you
like
want to
little
get one
people.
that's your size.
Yeah,
whether
I'm
it's
5'2".
small, medium, large.
It was hard finding, like, I bet you finding your bike, and it's easier for me to find a bike than it is for you, unfortunately. But even my bike, dude, finding an extra small, like, fitted for me in the right body geometry was, like, the hardest thing. I had to wait.
Yeah.
Hard as hell.
Yeah, they sell out at the toy section at Target.
He loves it. He loves it. He loves it. I'm immune to it now.
It's really been a game changer having something that fits my body.
Yeah.
And I'm doing these long rides, so I need to be comfortable in proportion.
What
so
is
it's
that?
great.
What does that cost, Gary? I mean, I'm doing the math, and
It's a Dirty Sanchez
like,
right there, buddy.
when we have to buy a 5X shirt,
yeah.
it's more money.
Yeah, you 5Xers are like $3 more a shirt.
So what do they run?
Yeah, so the DirtySixer.com website will sell these bikes. They're between $4,000 and $5,000,
Okay.
which may sound like a lot, but if you really look into bikes, I know your brother-in-law does the triathlons. His bike could be $8,000, $10,000.
It's more than 10,000. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and
God, I saw a guy.
It's so light though. I mean, when you pick up a $10,000 triathlon bike, I didn't even understand how it doesn't make sense in your mind that a bicycle could be that light.
And they're doing weird things with them now, where they're making the bikes uber light, but then loading them back up with battery packs for these electric bikes.
Yeah.
You know, like where I'm seeing price tags on bikes that might as well be a loaded Harley Davidson electric glide or like a small car.
Yeah.
Like I saw a bike the other day that was like an electric bike fully loaded, like with making it super light, but has the greatest technology. And it's like a $17,000 bike. So it's like crazy.
And electric bikes are neat, but for this type of distance, the battery's not going to last.
Yeah, to me, it's not
so
a
there's
bike.
No way
a
to
bike
really
is powered by you.
Yeah.
A bike is powered by a human. You know, like a motorcycle. To me, that's an electric motorcycle.
So Gary, I think we spoke about this last time you came on the show, but is there I want to know about the world's most dangerous mountain bike race, because every once in a while on TikTok,
I think anyone you're involved in might be the most
it might be coming up, the old pineapple.
I'll see these TikTok videos and
where the lady was walking her dog on the mountain biking trail and the guy almost went off the side. I saw that one.
Yeah, I've seen that one. But I'm talking about like it looks like these guys on the side of mountains, like in some rainforest somewhere, and like it looks like a race,
and they're
but
ripping.
Yeah, and so I imagine in different countries there's probably the legend of this super dangerous race that people run, right?
Yeah, so there's a lot less regulation in other countries. So you're going to get some crazy terrain, crazy races.
Yeah.
In the bikepacking community, there's this Trans North Georgia adventure up in Georgia. It's about a 350-mile one-way route from the border of South Carolina over to Alabama. And you have about 40 to 50,000 feet of climbing in that route, and you're going through crazy, treacherous terrain. You got to hike your bike up stuff. It's so steep. Some stuff is too steep to ride down. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the hiking the bike up stuff is I don't know if that's for me. Where you're putting your bike here, and then you're like, pushing it up a mountain and climbing yourself up a mountain and get on your bike and you're riding more. I'm like, that's a lot.
Yeah, there was a trail that was wet, it's Georgia clay, slippery, and I'm trying to get my bike up, and I have to push it, hold the brakes, scoot my feet up, and then push it again.
Yeah.
My one friend couldn't get up this trail. It's like about 4 miles up or whatever. So he ended up like sleeping on the trail because he was so tired. He couldn't get up.
I saw one of a guy exhausted that navigated the hill backwards just by scooting his butt up backwards, and then his buddy that was down there that had more gas than him tied a rope to his bike and he pulled his bike up. It's just like it just looks like any because there's any way you can get it up there, right? And then once you're up there, get back on your bike, start moving again.
There are people that will take the bikes on like river rafts down somewhere and then
we're
get
on
off.
the same algorithm. Yeah. I've been seeing
they rappel with their bike and then you see them like rappelling down.
We're getting
mountain.
the same stuff. I've seen that.
So there's super extreme mountain bike.
Yeah, absolutely. And Single Track Samurai has done some of that pack rafting before.
Okay.
We're gonna have to talk to that cat, especially if he's from my hometown. Like we'll get a DeLand guy in here to tell it. Yes, a Single Track Samurai. You got to get a hold of him. That's interesting. I think this year I would like to. Let's see how these hips shake out. But I think I would like to challenge myself to do something in Florida, like some gravel biking, like we talked about before. But something far.
Yeah.
Like something far, because I know I can ride. Riding is no problem. I'm in decent shape and I can do it. It's just going to be slow, but it'll be tough. It'll be hard.
And with this hurricane ride coming up, we go through the mega hills out there in Clermont, where a lot of the folks train for the elevation.
That's really hard.
And then we drop into Apopka, Lake Apopka, and go around through there. And then we end up in, Dan, how do you want me to say it, Wakiva or Wakiva?
Wakiva,
Wakiva. And we have to cross the river. So you have to walk through the river with your bike kind of either over your head or however you can get it through.
I can't do that. Really? See, I couldn't do that. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to lay my bike on a couple of pool noodles, and push my bike and swim across?
And if you guys have paddled there, there's gators there.
Oh, yeah.
So you're just hoping you get across.
Oh, I'm not afraid of gators, Gary. They stay away from me.
Now, are you at all, because you haven't been on, you told me something I didn't really know today. I didn't know you hadn't taken the bike outside, your training bike. Are you afraid at all that because the tires are skinny and it's not your, Do you have a beach cruiser or anything you're riding right now?
I got a beach. Well, yeah. I mean, I have a trainer, so I've gotten on the road bike, and I've just.
But you don't really have the balance at all.
No, yeah. But I'm good.
It does feel a little different on the tiny tires, though, right? Would you
Oh,
agree?
sure, absolutely. Yeah.
And when you go to turn, I mean, it turns. Like it'll turn you and fling you right on your arm.
I'll tell you the same thing I told the biker one time that wanted me to ride his chopper at Destination Daytona back in the monster days when I was hammer drunk.
Please.
I could ride anything with two wheels and then crash it in the parking lot of Destination Daytona.
I forgot about that.
Well, if you ask me if I could ride something, I will tell you yes and then crash it. And then I'll blame it on you. And they'll be like, why did you believe me? You saw it in my eyes. Anyway. Gary, good luck in your adventure.
Yeah, man. Let's give out your details again for your GoFundMe.
Oh, sure. So you can find me, Gary Kors, C-O-R-S, on Facebook. The GoFundMe is a GoFundMe at support Mike Smith's fight against cancer. And hopefully, Sam can share that link with folks.
It's in the BDM group. I shared it on my personal page. Just quickly, I can say at gofund.me/07938CF7. And if you want to follow him, the ride starts February 3rd at trackleaders.com/huracan, HURACAN 24.
There you go.
All right, perfect. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
Awesome. Great job, man.
Awesome,
that was
thanks.
really good. Thanks for doing it.
Wow, it's already lunch. Jesus Christ.
Today is flying right along.
Can I get an intro so I can,
Yep.
since we're going to be running late today with that other interview at 2:15 or 2:20.
And I realized we put the History Center for Wednesday 3.
Yep.
We already have, I'm sure.
We have a Wednesday 1.
Wednesday
That was
1.
Wallace Shawn. It was 30 minutes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
perfect. That was one.
So where's this one go?
This goes Monday 2. I'm going to send this video to Melissa of you trying to get on this damn bike. Okay. All right, Twitch and YouTube. We will see you back around. Oh, no. We'll be on Facebook for BDM and OG.
Yeah.
So if you're a
Thanks again
BDM,
for coming in, man. It's always
us
good
up on
seeing
Facebook
you.
around 1.
That bike is awesome, dude. Thing is freaking severe.
That's why I brought it.
It is a beautiful bike, though. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut this off so we can do our other stuff. But we'll see you guys in a minute, or, we'll see you on Facebook after